Well, happy Tuesday and welcome to VA Careers Live on this lovely January the 23rd. My name is Mike Owens and I'm a national recruiter for the Veterans Health Administration, as well as your host for our weekly segment, Talk About It Tuesday. If you're tuning in for the first time, I want to let you know that we are here every Tuesday at 12 noon Eastern time. So feel free to grab something to drink, grab a snack, and join us as we talk about careers here at VA. Now, again, if you're tuning in for the first time or you've been with us for the last 3 years, just know that we want you to be part of the conversation. So don't be shy. Don't feel like you have to sit back and just watch everything progress. If you have anything that you want to add to the chat, whether it's a question, whether it's a comment, whether I said something that you think I should change, whether it's something you think we should talk about in the future, whatever it is, as long as it has to do about VA careers, go ahead and put that in the comment section. We don't want anyone to feel like they can't be part of the conversation. As you guys know, my team and I, we do go through these comments and questions throughout the day and throughout the week. Sometimes we put some of the comments and questions on a live episode, but no matter how we answer your question or address it, we will, if we can. So again, don't feel shy. Go ahead and add your comments and questions to the comment section. Also, we all know someone that wants to work at VA. You know you want to work at VA. I want to continue working at VA. Our friends and family wants to come over to VA. We have friends that want to get promoted in VA. Some of you already work for VA and want to get promoted. So we all know someone in that category. So we ask that you please share our broadcast. This broadcast has a lot of information that can help you and that can help others. So I'm a person, I love sharing. So if you believe that this information helps you on a weekly basis, go ahead and click that share button. We have 2 hashtags that are associated with this broadcast. The first hashtag is hashtag VA Careers. Again, hashtag VA Careers. And then our second hashtag is hashtag Work at VA. Again, hashtag Work at VA. Let's click that share button and let's get this information out to as many people as possible. So with that being said, again, don't be shy, leave those comments. And secondly, share our broadcast. So before we get into our broadcast of the day, I have a very special topic I want to talk about, and that's pie. All right. I love dessert. If anyone knows me, they know I love desserts. So we looked up today and we found out that today is National Pie Day, not 3.14 as you see in mathematics, but actual dessert pie. So with that being said, my question of today is, what is your favorite pie? If you could have one pie for the rest of your life, or if somebody can just stick a piece of pie right now in your face, what type of pie would that be? So I'll go first. Now, me, I know I'm not playing the game right, but I cannot pick between these two. I have to give a tie for first place. I like either key lime pie or apple pie. So I can't, those are my 2 first place choices. I know you can't pick, I know you have to pick a winner, and I'm trying to, but I guess if I had to pick a winner, I would go with apple. And I would tell you why, because you can have apple pie with ice cream, and I love ice cream too. So as you can kind of tell, I'm not a small man. So yeah, so I'm what do you call it? I am a dessert, I can't think of the word. Connoisseur. There we go. I'm a dessert connoisseur. So yes, I would. So if I had to choose between key lime and apple, I would definitely go with apple, because you can stick a scoop of ice cream on top of apple pie. But with that being said, again, today is National Pie Day. And so with that being said, go ahead and leave your favorite pie in the comment section. So while you're doing that, I want to chat with you for a second, because our episode today is going to be a little different. It's going to be a more interactive. So I'm going to be looking for you guys to add your answers into the comment section. So if you are away from your keyboard, get back to your keyboard so you can go ahead and type in the answer. So we're going to have a truths versus myth episode today. So what that's going to consist of is that we're going to put a statement out there on the screen. And in the comment section, I want you to write whether you think that statement is a truth or whether it's a myth. All right. And so I will tell you, once you guys, I'll give you a few seconds, maybe like 5 seconds to go ahead and put your answer in the comment section. Then I'll go ahead and reveal whether it's a truth or myth. But we want you to be interactive. This is something that we want you guys to be interactive with. I'm learning as long as I'm interacting. So again, this is our truth versus myth. So again, what's going to happen? We'll put a statement out there. I'll give you 5 seconds to put in the comment section whether you think it's a truth or a myth. And then from there, we'll go ahead and reveal it, and we'll keep going. So with that being said, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how many truths and myths that are out there. And if I put a statement out there and it's a truth, but you put myth, and you think you want to add some feedback, put it in the comment section. Again, I'm a person, I love feedback. So if you feel like something I said may have been wrong, that statement should have been a truth versus what I said, go ahead and put that in the comment section. Tell me why. And guess what? I'll go ahead and look at it, research it, and maybe at a future episode, we'll readdress it. So with that being said, let's get started with our truth or myth episode. So with that being said, I'm going to give you my first statement of the day. My first statement is cover letters are not important. So again, the first statement is cover letters are not important. Do you think that statement is a truth, or do you think that statement is a myth? Again, the statement is cover letters are not important. Do you feel that is a truth, or do you feel that is a myth? And I'll give you 5 seconds. I wish I had the Jeopardy song up here so we can kind of play that, but all right, 3 more seconds, 2 more seconds, 1 more seconds. All right, time's up. So that statement is a myth. All right, cover letters are important. I know there's a lot of different advice you can get out there, and you may get half of the professionals say, hey, cover letters, you don't need them if they're not requested. You have some of them that says, and I'm on the side of, hey, the more you have, the better it can help you. So even though people will tell you if it's not required, don't put it. Sometimes I would say, even if it's not required, add it. Cover letters can do something that your resume can't. Your resume is just a bullet points of the things that you've done in your work experience or in school. Cover letters don't necessarily show your personality. I'm sorry, resumes don't necessarily show your personality. Again, it's just a set of bullet points of things that you've done in your work history and your education. But what a cover letter can do, a cover letter can show the employer or the hiring manager your writing style, how great of a writer you are, because of course, even though it's a cover letter, it's still showing how good of a writer you are. And writing skills are important in every job, believe it or not. No matter what job you have, if someone knows that you're a great writer, that can help propel you to the top of the applicant line. Second of all, it helps you explain things that you can't explain in your resume. It helps you explain gaps in your jobs. It helps you just explain a little bit more about a little bit more experience that you have. Maybe some things you've done at school, some awards that you won on your job. It allows you to explain that. It allows you to show your personality. You know, it allows you to show, are you a bubbly person or you're someone that's not bubbly? So with that being said, yes, cover letters are important. So the statement of cover letters are not important is a myth. All right. So here we go. Here is my next one. So my next statement is everyone exaggerates a bit on their resume. You must as well to stay competitive. So again, the next statement says that everyone exaggerates a little bit on their resume. I mean, people exaggerate just a little bit. You must as well to stay competitive. So again, you know, some people put things on their resumes. I know that most people are honest, but it says that everyone exaggerates a bit on their resume. You must stay competitive as well. So I'll give you about 3 more seconds. Do you think that's a truth or a myth? All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. Pencils down. So that is a myth. All right. That is a myth. All right. We can't sit here and say that everyone exaggerates on their resume. All right. Actually, with everyone that I've hired or I've been part of the interview panel, I have not seen anyone exaggerate on their resume. So with that being said, don't exaggerate on your resume. I always say that you want your resume to closely mirror the job announcement, but you don't want to lie. First of all, you don't want to copy and paste because that's plagiarism. And second of all, you don't want to lie because at some point those lies in your resume will come up and bite you. And you don't ever want something to come up because you can still get a job line on your resume. And then maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, something pops up and your company or someone here at the VA or your hiring manager says, okay, hey, your resume said this. They catch you in a lie and then you can get fired on the spot for not being honest. So again, never exaggerate on your resume. Don't think that there's other people that do it, so you might as well. Again, You want to beef your resume up, but beef it up with the stuff that you've done. All right. Or learn how to clearly articulate and animate some of the things you've done. Animating something is not exaggerated. Animating saying, it's like riding a motorbike. You can say, hey, I started at home. I rode my motorcycle to work. That's true. Or you can say, you know what? I rode my motorcycle to work. I made a few swift turns. I popped a few wheelies. I spun out in the parking lot, but I made it to work. Those two statements are the same statement. One was plain and simple, saying that you rode your motorcycle to work. The other one showed, okay, this is the things I did while riding. You popped a few wheelies. All of it was true. So again, you can animate your work experience, but never over exaggerate it. All right. So here is my next one. All right. My next one is experience can outweigh education in some cases. All right. So the next statement that we have is, it should be popped up on the screen here. It says experience can outweigh education in some cases. So do you guys feel that experience can outweigh? Do you feel like education always outweighs? How do you feel? Do you think this is a truth or a myth? So one more time, it says experience can outweigh education in some cases. Do you guys feel that is a truth or a myth? So I'll give you 3 more seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, pencils down, all hands up. So with that being said, this is a truth. All right. This is a truth. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to say that you should never get your education. I'm an advocate of education. I think that you should get all the education that you want, all the education that you need, the more education is good. But there are a lot of cases where sometimes experience can outweigh education. If you have someone that's in the workforce for like 15 years, and then you have someone that just graduated college, and they may have a degree that's closely associated with that career field, but sometimes the hiring manager needs someone that has that experience already. Sometimes hiring managers have positions where they're willing to train, or they have time to train someone, but sometimes they need someone that can do that position from day one. So in that way, sometimes experience can trump education. So it's a two-edged sword, because again, I will always say, get as much education as you can. All right. The more education that you can get, the more the better it'll take you farther in your job search or in your career. But also at the same time, those of you out there that may have gone to the military right out of college, right out of high school, or you got a trade, or you just went into the workforce and you were able to work yourself up without a post-secondary education or without a college education, I don't want you to feel defeated. I don't want you to feel deflated. I don't want you to feel like, okay, because even though I have 15 to 20 years of experience, that I'm always get trumped by somebody that has a degree. That's not always the case. So again, experience can outweigh education in some cases. I'm not going to say it's every case. Every case is different, but just know that sometimes, yes, experience can outweigh education. But I'm not saying that one is better than the other. All I'm saying is that if you are one of those applicants out there that went straight into the workforce after high school, whether it was the way of the military, or way of just going to work or getting a trade, and you feel like you're not going to get a great job because you don't have the education behind it. No, that's not the case. If you have a great work experience and that work experience correlates to that job announcement, yes, you can get the job over someone that has more education. All right. So my next one is it's impossible to change careers when you're over 50 years old. So again, my next statement is it's impossible to change careers when you're over 50 years old. So do you feel that if you're over 50, some of you that are watching us are over 50, you're in 50s, you're in 60s. I mean, we have people that watch the show and that watch this episode this broadcast that's well over their 70s. So do you feel like it's impossible to change careers even when you're over 50? So I'll give you about 3 more seconds to kind of figure out if that's a myth. Don't just say it in your mind whether it's a myth or a truth. Go ahead and put it in the comment section. We want to see those comments. All right. So with that being said, it's impossible to change careers when you're over 50. That is a truth. Yes, you can change careers when you're over 50. All right. Here at the VA, we don't discriminate based on age. We only want the best person for that position to be hired. So again, that is the truth. If you're over 50, if you're over 50 and you feel like you need something new, you need a new direction, you want to come into the VA, or maybe you're over 50 and you're already in the VA and you want to say, I want to work in another department, or I want another career within VA, you're not going to get discriminated on because of age. We do not discriminate on age. Actually, I've actually hired folks. When I was at the New Orleans VA hospital working in the community public relations office, we actually, I was part of a search, and with the candidate that we picked was actually well into her 50s, and she ended up being one of the best candidates. So yes, we will not discriminate you. We don't even look at age. I mean, because on your resumes, most time we can't even see the age. Now, again, you can kind of correlate when you look at the years that someone's worked on a job, but a lot of times we don't even look at that. We're looking at the bullet points. But yeah, with that being said, yes, we do not discriminate. And so that, yes, you can pick a career change when you're over 50. So here's my next one. All right. So my next one says, do not bother following up on interviews. No one reads thank you notes anyway. So again, this one says, don't bother following up after an interview because no one reads those thank you notes anyway. So do you feel that thank you notes is a myth or a truth? Do you think that don't bother following up on interviews is a truth or a myth? That no one reads thank you notes anyway. So I'll give you about 3 more seconds. Go ahead and put whether you think this is a truth or a myth. All right, in 3, 2, 1. All right, so with that being said, this one is actually a myth. All right. Yes, if you feel compelled to write a thank you note after an interview, do it. Yes. Again, yes, thank you notes are actually appreciated. Now, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that thank you notes will propel you to the finish line. I'm not going to say that. But sometimes if a hiring manager is trying to if they're trying to pick out of 2 candidates, maybe they've interviewed 10 people, they got down to the last 2 candidates, and these candidates have the same qualifications and they're equal in every aspect, and it's hard to pick one over the other. All right. Let's say I have 2 candidates that I'm just like, man, I don't know which one to pick. They both are good. But let's say one sends that thank you note. Guess what? That's the one thing that was different from candidate A and candidate B, is that one sent the thank you note and one didn't. And guess what? That can be something that can help propel you over the finish line and get selected for position. So again, sometimes more is better. You never know. Sometimes that cover letter, sometimes that thank you note, sometimes that one little thing that everybody else may tell you, hey, you don't need to worry about that. Why send a cover letter? Why send a thank you note? They don't read those stuff anyway. That one little thing that everyone seems to dismiss could be the one thing that can propel you to the finish line. And it's not because it means you're more qualified. Sometimes, yes, you have a lot of candidates that apply for these positions. All right. The VA, we get sometimes hundreds of applicants for each job announcement that goes out. And you may get to the final 2 and you can't pick one or the other because they both have the same qualifications. They're both equally qualified for the position, but one may go beyond and send that thank you note or that cover letter. And guess what? Because that person did that, guess what? They were selected for the position. All right. All right. My next question, I'm sorry, not my next question. My next statement is, one resume should fit any job. So you should have the same resume for any job. Do you think that's a myth or do you think that's a truth? So again, the statement is, I could have one resume and I can apply for any job with that one resume. Do you think that's a truth or a myth? So I know some of us, we do that. Some of us, we don't. But do you feel that having one resume suffices for all of your job searches? Go ahead and put that in the comment section, whether you think that's a truth or a myth. And I'll give you about 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right. So I would say that's a myth. And the reason I would say, because I think last week I gave you guys a hint on this one. All right. So if you were listening last week, you heard me give you a little tip that said sometimes you should have one resume for each career field. I said that last week. I said that, now that I'm in human resources, I have a resume that I have one resume that has still all the same work experience, but that resume highlights all of my human resources experience. All right. Then I have a second resume because I do have a background in public relations and communications. I have another resume that highlights my public relations and communications experience. So if I feel like right now I'm happy where I'm at, so I don't see myself applying for another job anytime soon. But let's say I wanted to apply for another HR, a human resources position. Guess what? I'm gonna use that HR resume, and I'm gonna use that one to apply for it. Maybe I see a position that's more in public affairs. I'm like, that seems intriguing. Maybe I should apply for that. Guess what? I'm gonna use my other resume that highlights my public relations. Now, even though you have different resumes, you still want to tailor and tweak it. So even if I apply for that job, whenever that may be, if that's ever possible, I'll go ahead and even though I have those two different resumes, but even if I apply for a HR job, I am still going to go to the HR resume and I'm still going to tailor that HR resume. I'm not just going to say, hey, this highlights all of my HR experience, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure I tailor it to that job announcement. But yes, this is a myth. One resume does not fit any job. You should always be willing to tweak your resume. And if you have experience, because as we get older, sometimes we've worked in different career fields. Like me, I'm in my early 40s now. I'm 41 now. Yeah, as you can see with the gray hair, I'm 41. But so I've worked in different career fields. I worked as a military journalist. I worked as a public affairs person, and I also worked here obviously in recruitment and human resources. So I have a couple of different career fields under my belt. So with that being said, I would have one resume that focuses on one career field and another resume that focuses on another career field. Even though the same work experiences in both of those resumes, you can kind of tweak it to one career field. So that way it can highlight the things that you've done in that one career field versus the hiring manager having to go through so much information to filter things out. So yes, that is a myth. You can have more than one on a resume. And if you have more than one, if you have different career fields that you have experience in, I would definitely tell you, have a different resume for each of those career fields. All right. My next one's going to be networking and social media adds value to your job search. So here's the next statement. Networking and social media adds value to your job search. Do you feel that is a truth or a myth? So one more time. Networking and social media adds value to your job search. I'll give you about 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, so that is a truth. Yes, networking and social media, if maybe one over the other or maybe both of them together, but yes, they can add value to your job search. I will say this. We talk about this all the time, and I feel like I'm about to give you guys a fireside chat for some reason. So don't look at it like, take it from me. I know we live in a virtual world now. Everything is text messaging. Everything is FaceTiming. Everything is, everything is over the internet these days. But I will tell you this, I've had the experience in my life. I've gained a lot of work experience. But sometimes I would say, and this is me, that's why I'm a big proponent of networking. A lot of my promotions came because I was able to have face-to-face interaction, networking experiences. All right. I know a lot of times we want to work from home. I even work from home, but there are times where I make sure that I get out of my house and I go and I meet people at the VA hospital here. Anytime there's a chance for us to travel and meet with the team, I make sure I go, because face-to-face interactions and face-to-face networking can sometimes put you in a position where you never thought you would get. Because guess what? There may be a hiring manager. And again, you still have to go through the hiring process here at VA. But so this is generic. I know this is a VA-centered broadcast, but I'm going to just give you generic advice. Even if you're here at the VA, I always cringe when I hear people say, I don't talk to nobody at work. I go to work, I do my job, and I go home. My coworkers are not my friends. I don't want to converse with them. I don't want to do anything extra with them. I go to work and I go home. And I cringe. You know, this is I'm a person, while I'm not going to give you a talking point, I'm going to be very blunt. I cringe when I hear people say that, because some of those same people have been people that can't wonder why they can't get promoted. It's because no one knows who you are. People always, when people hear your name, they think of you always saying, no, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this. Get out of my way. Why are you bothering me? It's before 8 o'clock. Why are you asking me questions? You know, if you're that type of person, it's going to be very hard for you to move up, because when your name comes across someone's desk, they're going to think of all those negative connotations that comes with that person just not wanting to be bothered with anybody at work. Again, even though I had the experience and I was qualified for those positions, a lot of positions that I got, whether I was in the military or at the VA, was because I got a chance to go and do some old grassroots networking, face to face, shaking hands, talking to people in their faces, not over a computer screen, not over text messaging. So yes, networking, I'm a very big proponent of networking. So yes, networking will add to it, and not just network. You can't get a really good relationship with someone if it's over the internet. So if you have a chance to go out and visit people, maybe if you're working inside of a traditional workspace, you're at work, go talk to your coworkers, have lunch sometimes, go sit and talk to your boss sometimes, you know, and you don't have to talk about work. You can just talk about other things. Life, you never know what you have in common with people around you. And if you talk to someone and you have something in common with someone, or they can see that you have a very peaceful or cheerful personality, your name may come across somebody's desk when you don't even know it, and you could be positioned for a promotion just because that person remembered that about you. Now, again, here at the VA, we have to go through the normal hiring channels. So this is just generic. Some of you guys work for the private sector where that's more possible. Here at the VA, that's not, because again, at the VA, we always have to go through the normal hiring. So, but that was just my generic fireside chat job search advice. Always network, because you never know that person that you're talking to. You never know if that person will ever be involved in one of your future job searches. All right. So with that being said, I had many more truths or myths, and so I won't go through any more today. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys. I'm really looking forward to seeing your answers in the comment section again. And if I said something that was a truth and you think it was a myth, go ahead and tell me. And guess what? You may be giving me some new information. I'm not going to say I'm the say all. I'm not the top expert. You know, there are things that you may say that will make me change my view on something. If you have any personal stories based on these truths or myths that I've mentioned, go ahead and put that in the comment section. We're all friends here. All right. We're all friends here at Talk About It Tuesday. So just make this your safe space when it comes to careers. So with that being said, I did have a question of the day for early in the broadcast. If you missed the beginning of the broadcast, and also that makes me think, if you missed part of this broadcast, again, come back to our LinkedIn page a little bit later, and it'll be on there, and you'll be able to watch this whole episode in its entirety. But my question today is National Pie Day, dessert pie. So what's your favorite pie? As I mentioned earlier, I had a toss-up between key lime and apple, but I went with apple because I'm able to eat ice cream with apple pie. So go ahead and put that in the comment section. But that's all we have for you today on its lovely January the 23rd. Right now, it's 11:29 Central Time because I do live in New Orleans. I know for you guys that are on the East Coast, it's almost 12:30, and it's almost 9:30 for some of you guys that are on the West Coast. So with that being said, thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys watching every week, especially those that have been watching for the last 3 years. And for those who are watching today for the first day, don't be shy. Always feel free to come back to Talk About It Tuesday. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. From my team, thank you for watching every week. And if it's Tuesday, we're definitely going to talk about it. And we will see you on next week. Have a great day.